I would like to welcome you all to this webinar, which is organized for providing information about the opportunities which are available in the construction sector of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is the fourth webinar that we are organizing relating to the construction sector. And this time, we are organizing it with the support and cooperation of the Saudi Ministry of Investment and the Saudi Contractors Authority. The reason why we are focusing so much on the construction sector is because construction is the biggest economic activity currently in the kingdom. According to one estimate, the different construction-related projects until for the next 10 years could be worth $1.8 trillion. Right now, there are several giga projects that are currently, in execution stage, which includes NEOM, which includes Qiddiya, the Murabba project here, Mukab. So a lot of projects are taking place in the kingdom. And there is right now, as we are told, a shortage of contractors as well as building material suppliers. According to one statement which was given by the CEO of NEOM, just the line is going to consume almost 20% of the global steel supply. So you can well imagine how much requirement there is currently in the kingdom. Contractors from various countries are currently, part of different projects here in the kingdom. And the Ministry of Investment of Saudi Arabia is encouraging more foreign contractors to come and take part in these projects. Recently, we had the visit of His Excellency, the Minister of Investment, Mr. Khalid Al-Faleh. He visited Pakistan just 10 days back. And in that delegation also, there was a focus on the construction sector, and we had a separate breakout session on construction where the Ministry of Investment and the Contractors Authority, they gave a presentation about the opportunities which are available in the kingdom. So we want to expand this discussion, and the objective here is that our contractors as well as our building materials manufacturers have the information available about what the opportunities are and how they can go about taking part in construction-related projects in the kingdom. So I would now like to introduce our three speakers today. The first presenter is Mr. Anwar Al-Hars. He is the Senior Strategic Investor Relations Manager at the Ministry of Investment, Saudi Arabia. And he will go over the requirements related to establishing your business in the kingdom. The second presenter is Ms. Naam Ubaid. She is the Business Development Manager in MISA with a focus on real estate and construction sector, and she will present the value proposition for the construction sector. And our third and last presenter will be Mr. Khalid Askar. He is representing the Saudi Contractors Authority, and he will give an overview of his organization and the scope of its work. So after the three presentations, we will then have the opportunity of asking questions as well as discussion. So without further ado, I would request our first speaker, Mr. Anwar Al-Harz, to make his remarks.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Anwar Al-Harz. So I'm gonna present the investor journey. Just give me a sec. Okay. So first of all, we will talk about Ministry of Investment. The Ministry of Investment of Saudi Arabia, formed in February 2020, has been working closely with investors and all key stakeholders with the objective of sustainably enhancing the investment ecosystem in Saudi Arabia. We are dedicated to fostering a thriving investment ecosystem in Saudi Arabia. Our mission to work closely with investors, both local and foreigner, to create a favorable environment for businesses to grow and succeed. We aim to increase investment opportunities and promote the kingdom as a premier investment destination. Our strategies include collaborating with investors to understand their needs and provide tailored support, enhancing the investment ecosystem by addressing key challenges and opportunities, developing a comprehensive national investment strategy to attract and retain investment. To achieve these objectives, we have consolidated and promoted investment opportunities under unified brand called Invest Saudi. This brand represents our commitment to creating a seamless and efficient investment experience for our stakeholders. Saudi Arabia has been gradually opening up in its economy to foreign investment, with full ownership now allowed in the majority of sectors. Here are a list of those that has been opened up over the past few years ago, like healthcare, engineering, retail, publishing, metals. Whether you're starting or expanding a business in Saudi Arabia, our dedicated team is here to support you to every stage of your journey. Our services include before setup, during setup, and after setup. Before setup, we do tailored market and economy intelligence like matchmaking, organizing site visits. During setup, we will be helping on obtaining license or permit. We do introduction to finance institutions, for example. And after setup, we even help and you overcome obstacles, account managers, and give a physical one-stop shop to do your business. So during setup, we will be helping the investors to get the license. So to get a license, we require generally two things: commercial registration and audited financial report. These documents should be attested by Saudi Embassy. After the approval, you will be paying like for first year 12,000 Saudi Riyal, then annually you will gonna pay 62,000. After issuing the license and the payment has been done, then you will be required to get a commercial registration. To get the commercial registration, you're required to reserve the name, then make the audited article of association. After that, automatically you will be registered with the rest government. Then you are good to go to start your operating. We the ministry is committed to maintain a strong connection with investors, ensuring the continually of their business and minimizing potential distribution to their investment plans. Our approach includes account management. We promote systematic communication with investors, understand their needs, and provide quality solution and value-added services that can contribute to the continuity and expansion of their business. 2. Organizing workshops. We invite investors to workshops that address new regulation or clarify existing ones in collaboration with relevant government agency. We also involve investors in national events and international delegation. 3. Periodic questionnaires. The ministry is dedicated to sending periodic questionnaires to gather the opinions and recommendation of investors through a dialogue, ultimately aiming to improve the business environment. The ministry has established service centers with the aim of facilitating business operations by bringing together representatives of government agencies under one roof. The ministry currently has 4 business centers to serve investors in Riyadh, Jeddah, Dammam, and Al Medina. How do we support? Either through business centers, like I said, through 4 branches in the kingdom, across the kingdom, or through e-services system, online services. We have even 102 automated services, or through contact center 24/7. We gonna support, even we can speak eight languages. We have 8 languages speakers. We live in a digital world, but at Mesa we still believe in the value of face-to-face international interactions. That's why we have established a presence around the world. United States, for example, France, South Korea, and Singapore. How investors can access the opportunities. We have developed an online portal to assist you on your journey, enable investors to dive into an ocean of untapped potential. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anwar Al-Hars, for explaining the overall investment framework and the licensing process that run by MISA. We will have some questions about that, I'm sure, at the end. But now I will request Ms. Naam Ubaid to please give your presentation.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, the Ambassador. We really appreciate you being here today and for organizing this, inshallah, successful and fruitful workshop for everyone involved. So I'm a business development manager at the Ministry of Investment, and I focus on studying the construction sector, as well as the related building materials, especially, as you mentioned, Your Excellency, the gap between supply and demand. Current supply in the market versus demand from the projects and initiatives that we're launching. So I'm very happy to be here today with you, as well as some of the best companies from Pakistan to talk about the sector and where the opportunities are. My presentation will be in four sections. First, I'll give a brief about the Saudi economy and why it's a safe place for investors and a fruitful place. Then I'll talk about the opportunities that are currently available. And finally, I'll talk about incentives, where you can find them, etc. And my last part is investor support, but Anwar, I think he covered it very well. As you know, Saudi Arabia is a G20 economy, so we're one of the strongest economies in the world, and the majority of our population is under 30 years old. Because of this, you can imagine the demand for housing, the demand for entertainment, the demand for offices is continuing to grow. And I'll talk about this in more detail. Thankfully, even with COVID and political and economic issues, Saudi Arabia continues to see growth in its GDP. So that's very good. Also, these are some more statistics about the economy. We're the largest in the Middle East and North Africa region. We have the 7th largest foreign asset reserves globally. The credit rating of Saudi Arabia, so Moody's and Fitch, it's A+ positive, and we continue to be upgraded and improved. So that provides safety and lower risk to investors. You know, because you are one of the close countries to Saudi Arabia, but not only Pakistan, but you can see in the map, you can reach most of the world's GDP within 6 hours, and most of the world's population also within a few hours. So this makes it a very strategic place for if you want to, for example, localize a factory in Saudi and re-export it. So this talks about, I'm sure maybe you're familiar with Vision 2030, which the Crown Prince launched in 2016. And that's been the driver for what we do at the Ministry of Investment and for it's kind of the foundation of where we're building these projects and initiatives. So one of the components of the vision is to improve the industrial ecosystem and make it a very supportive place for investors. We also wanted to increase women's participation in the workforce. And we had a goal of 30%. We reached 36% 2 years ago. So alhamdulillah, we are meeting these targets. And then also one of our main targets is to improve foreign direct investment. So having companies from Pakistan and around the world come to the kingdom and invest. And finally, we also want to improve quality of life by lowering unemployment, improving the housing for citizens, the infrastructure, etc. One of the new commitments as well for Saudi Arabia is to be more green, more sustainable, rely more on clean energy such as hydrogen, more solar power generation, recycling wastewater. So this is also one of the key things that we're focused on. So yeah, His Excellency, he mentioned one of the key numbers, and this number I really have to mention to any contractor, any engineer, design firm, architect, because it really is key. In the next 4 or 5 years, we're spending $1.8 trillion in the construction sector. This, of course, includes NEOM and other projects I'll mention later. But the demand, this number doesn't stop here. We also got Expo 2030, which isn't included in this number, but this reemphasizes the demand for contracting, and then also FIFA World Cup 2034. So these aren't included in these numbers. So I would like to say that 1.8 trillion is even a conservative estimate for what's actually to come. I mentioned the quality of life, and one of the points is the 1.5 million housing units, and this is to improve quality of life and increase home ownership in Saudi. And His Excellency also mentioned that the construction sector is the largest activity in Saudi, and this is also very important for our attendees today. These are some of the projects mentioned. So NEO maybe is getting maybe the most news, and it's the flashiest project, but it's not the only one. We have, for example, King Khalid International Airport, a very well-known, beautiful airport that we're looking to expand significantly. We have residential communities by Roshan, National Housing Company, that are also critical and putting a huge demand on contractors. There's also some cultural destinations like Dir'iyya and Al-Ula, tourism, entertainment, etc. These are some of the projects. We're also focused on, of course, the construction sector is primarily based on traditional methods of construction, so putting the steel brick by brick, etc. But we also want to be more efficient if we can. So we are looking to attract more 3D printing, prefab construction, have advanced materials that improve the energy, keep the house cool, etc. Some advanced software, especially in project management, robotics and drones, and then also any sustainable solutions, since that's one of the key pillars now that we look at. So last year in 2023, we did a study about the sector because we kept seeing some of the projects that we're working on, they're facing shortages or they're importing everything, and we wanted to leverage the opportunity since we are having an economic boom and localize some of these opportunities and materials. So we came up with 25 very high-key, high-priority materials and services that we want to localize. So first, you can see here, float glass, sanitary ware, window frames are key, ready-mix concrete, synthetic stone, metal faucets, residential doors. These are all products that we want to localize here. So have the manufacturing here, and then the manufacturer can supply the projects I had mentioned, or they can even export to the region. And then here you can also see some of the services like modular construction, contracting services, design, engineering, some important materials like AAC bricks, plastic pipes, robots for laying bricks, surveillance robots for monitoring the projects, and equipment rentals. And given these high priority opportunities, we did a detailed pre-feasibility study for all of these 25. So we studied the value chain. Where will you get your raw materials from? Who are the current suppliers of this product? Do you have competition, or is it greenfield? You're the first one in the industry. We also did a supply assessment. So the current supply in Saudi, where is it? And what is the supply-demand gap? And then we did a financial model. So if you invested 50 million in let's say a plastic pipes factory, you will break even in this many years. Your IRR will be this much. And this is just to let the investor have a kickstart on their due diligence and have a place to start for their own feasibility study. These are some of the incentives that we offer. Some of them, especially for building materials, they are in the special economic zones, which have preferred taxation, custom levies, etc. There's also cash incentives, and these are offered by the Saudi Industrial Development Fund, especially if you have high-tech solutions or green solutions. They can really help. They have several programs for that. We also offer research and development incentives if you have a unique new high R&D product. And then we also have sponsored services. We have one of the most competitive utilities rates in the world for manufacturing. The ease of regulation, Anwar mentioned, but we've made huge changes in the Saudi investment ecosystem. One of which is you can get a business visa in a day. You can get an investment license in less than a day. Most sectors are now, you're allowed 100% foreign ownership. This was a huge issue more than a decade ago in Saudi. You always needed a partner, and the legislation and the judicial system wasn't very clear. but we're clearing all that up for investors. And again, Anwar mentioned this, but I'll re-emphasize it here, investsaudi.sa. This is our website. This is where you can find the 25 opportunities I mentioned and find some of the facts, figures. And then on that website, you can also reach out to me and my team to talk about how we can help you in your investment journey, if you need more market information, etc. Thank you so much. I hope this was useful, and I look forward to your questions at the end.
Thank you very much, Ms. Naamubed. I think this is a very comprehensive presentation. But again, there will be, I'm sure, questions. So we move now to our final presenter for today, Mr. Khalid Askar, representing the Saudi Contractors Authority. Please go ahead with your presentation, Mr. Askar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is my voice clear?
Yes, it is clear.
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen just in a moment. So, very good morning to all of you. My name is Khalid Al-Askar, and I am very honored to be representing the Saudi Contractors Authority in today's webinar. I would like to thank you for the invitation. In today's presentation, we will explore together the investment opportunities that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has to offer. I have divided my presentation into 3 segments. The first segment will be a short brief, an introduction about the Saudi Contractors Authority and the role it plays in the market. The second segment will be the Saudi construction market in general, some numbers and figures. And lastly, how can the Saudi Contractors Authority help international contractors join the Saudi market? What can we provide? What services? And how can we connect them with the local contractors? So let's start with the first segment. The Saudi Contractors Authority was established through a Council Minister resolution in 2015. It has about 21 mandates that aim at organizing and developing the construction sector of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is a mandatory registration for all contractors involved in governmental projects. So contractors who would like to take projects with the government need to be registered and authorized through us. It is a non-profit organization, and the Saudi Contractors Authority regulates the contracting sector in 6 areas or disciplines: building construction contractors, civil engineering contractors, mining services contractors, specialized construction contractors, contracting services for building and beautification of sites, and waste collection, disposal, and recycling activities. These 21 mandates and goals can be summarized as follows: proactively engage in enhancing and reviewing regulation related to the contracting sector. Develop indicator of information related to the construction sector, such as building material prices. So on our website, we'll find all sorts of information: prices for material, prices for even previous projects. Encourage investment in joint ventures in the contracting sector. Organize and participate conferences, seminars, and exhibitions related to the contracting sector. Create a digital platform that includes information about the contractors, which enable the user to rate their satisfaction level with contractor performance. Qualify specialized arbitrators for courts and dispute through specialized courses for the. Our vision is to build the future with confidence, and our mission is to develop the contracting sector by enabling the ecosystem, fostering innovation, and upskilling its workforce. So moving on to the second segment of today's presentation, the Saudi construction market. As you can see on the screen, here are some figures and numbers from the contracting sector of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is the largest employer in Saudi Arabia, with about 25% of the workforce in Saudi Arabia are in the contracting sector, and it is the second largest non-oil sector in the kingdom. 6% of the GDP of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is from the contracting sector. And about 98 of the entities within the sector are small and medium-sized enterprise. Also, it produces about 240 billion USD dollars annually. And we have more than 3.1 million workers with a Saudization rate of approximately 15%. And we have over 185,000 companies and organizations operating in the sector. And it is a key enabler for 2030 vision. It is expected that the construction market size will keep growing and growing as we get closer to 2030 vision. And our estimation says that from 2030 to 2026, it is expected to grow by 85%. So we have mentioned the Saudi Arabia 2030 vision. What is the Saudi Arabia what is the Vision 2030? The vision is a transformational program, culturally, socially, and economically. It aims to move away from being governmental supported to be private owned. And it hangs on three main pillars: a vibrant society, a thriving economy, and an ambitious nation. The mega and giga projects across various sectors of the Vision 23 requires a strong construction capabilities. We have mega projects in energy sector, in the urban sector, in the culture sector, as well as the tourism sector. Here are some of the projects that are huge in the future. We have the King Salman Energy Park, an industrial project aimed at positioning Saudi Arabia as a global energy hub with a budget of $500 billion and more than 100,000 jobs to be expected. We have the King Salman Park, which will be the largest urban park in the world, providing cultural, recreational, and residential space with a budget over 23 billion. We have the New Murabba, which is a project seeking to construct a new commercial and cultural zone over 25 million square meters with a budget over 50 billion. We have also the Riyadh Expo 2030, which aims to position Saudi Arabia as a global cultural and economic hub with estimated budget of $7.8 billion. And we are expecting more than 40 million site visits. We also arrange one of the biggest, if it is not the biggest forum that's related to the construction projects in Saudi Arabia. This forum aims to provide a platform for contractors, vendors, even investor developers to connect with each other and take a look on what's trending now and where the market is going. Last year, we had about 3,500 attendees and more than 37 projects has been presented by 37 owners. And the estimation of these projects were more than 530 billion USD dollars. And as you can see from the table in front of you, this forum keep getting attention every year. And this attention is increasing more and more, and we get closer to the 2030. as there are more projects to be presented. So the last segment of today's presentation, how can Saudi Contractors Authority help? We can help by letting you know the market, investigating the market for you. We can provide a comprehensive market analysis and insights, helping you understand current trends and opportunities and the competitive landscape in the Saudi construction market. We can walk through regulations, and we will provide a detailed guidance on navigating the regulatory landscape, ensuring compliance with all local law and regulations. We can help you by connecting you with governmental bodies. The SCA will facilitate introduction and connection with relevant governmental agencies, streaming your interaction and ensuring all necessary approvals obtained. We can also help you with connecting with the private sector companies. We can also help you building your operation, provide a pool of qualified subcontractors and vendors, and assist you with the market entry and licensing. And we'll always provide a continuous support and networking, facilitating network and connect with project owner and minister support if required. Here are some of the Saudi contractor services. We have the contractor licensing, which is basically developing procedures and standards to ensure that contractors meet specific standards and criteria. We also have the standard A contract, about 36 standard A contracts to ensure fairness and legal compliance and reduce the risk of dispute. Exhibition and conferences, as I mentioned before, it is one of our mandates to organize and connect people in these exhibition and conferences related to the contracting sector. We also have the consortium platform, which enhance project execution capabilities by enabling contractors to pool resources and collaborate on large-scale projects. We also provide consultation services to help contractors improve their operation and navigate regulatory requirements. We also have an academy organizing training program and workshop to enhance the capabilities of contractors and their workforce. The information services or the information center, various information services, including publications, statistics, and price index. And last but not least, excellence rewards, recognizing and reward innovation, best practices, and excellence with the local contracting industry. That brings us to the end of our presentation today. Here are our connection information on social media, our website, as well as a barcode for the SCAVO, which give a monthly or regularly report about the projects that's going on in Saudi Arabia. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for you.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank all the three presenters for their very clear and detailed presentation about the different aspects of the construction sector in Saudi Arabia. So now we would have the opportunity of asking questions and for discussion. And I would like to kickstart this part of the webinar by asking two questions. First, a question would be directed to colleagues from the Ministry of Investment, which is that is it a requirement for foreign contractors to obtain a Saudi CR for working in the kingdom? And if that is the case, what are the generally capital requirements? And in terms of completing the CR process, is there a requirement for hiring a local consultant to complete this process, or the companies, or the process is simple enough for companies to do it on their own? And then I have a question for this the colleague from the Saudi Contractors Authority. What are the contractor classification requirements? I've heard from a few contractors that in order for bidding for projects in the kingdom, you have to be pre-qualified, and there are classifications for that. So if Mr. Askar can provide us more information about that. But the first question is related to both colleagues from the Ministry of Investment.
Okay. So the first question, is it required to have a commercial registration? Yes, it is required. It's a mandatory to be present in Saudi Arabia. Second, is there a minimum required of the capital? That we don't require a minimum capital. Any company can start their paid capital from 10,000 to 1 million, whatever. 3, to register the company, yes, it is required to hire a consultant office, a local consultant office, or a lawyer to finalize the registration.
So are there any recommendations that MISA can give about the local consultants, or can any help be given for that?
They can visit our website, and they will find a list of consultant office or lawyers. They provide their services by visiting our website, misa.gov.sa.
Thank you very much. And then I had a question from the Saudi Contractors Authority regarding contractor classification.
So as for the contractors classification, all you need is to have a CR number. That's all. And as I said before, to be qualified with the working on governmental projects, will have to be registered through us. We don't have a minimum requirement. We don't have any requirement to be registered, just a CR numbers and the regular paper. However, the classification depends on 2 aspects: the technical aspects of the company or of the organization, and the financial aspect, which is, I believe, it is a standard procedure in almost every way. I hope that's answered your question.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. Now we can have questions from the participants. I saw some hands being raised. I thought, yes, Mr. Haris Alam. Please unmute yourself.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm an architect in Pakistan. I'm an independent consultant. Just wanted to thank you for the informative session. I noticed that the focus so far has been on opportunities for investors, contractors, and suppliers. And as a freelance architect, I'm interested in understanding what specific opportunities or initiatives are available for architects and designers in the kingdom's construction sector. Could you elaborate on how professionals in architecture design can contribute to or benefit from the current projects and development in the KSA? Thank you.
I can answer this, Your Excellency. Thank you so much for being here in the webinar. But we do also focus on attracting architects like yourself and design companies. However, one of the few sectors that still have a Saudi partner requirement is architecture. So if you wanted to open a architecture office in Saudi, you would need a Saudi partner with at least 25%. You might ask why. It's because as we transform, etc., we still want the projects that we're building, the buildings that we're constructing, to have the Saudi heritage architecture in it. So that's why the requirement is still there. I can also introduce you to my colleague who's leading the architecture sector, because she's been working with a lot of architects from around the world, and a lot of them are getting their license and working with project owners to design. So that's my initial response, but I'm more than happy to take it forward.
Thank you, Ms. Naam. I think this is a question that I have been receiving from other engineering design companies and architectural companies from Pakistan as well. And we are aware of this requirement. But then the next question is that how do you find a local partner? So does MISA or the Saudi Contractors Authority can provide any assistance for that?
I know we can provide assistance. We can introduce you to at least 5-10 partners, and then you can negotiate, of course, with the partner, see if there are synergies, etc. But we do have a full list of all the registered architects in the country. And then based on your criteria, like, do you want someone with decades of experience, or is it okay if it's a younger entity? And then we can give you that list, and you can reach out to them and negotiate, etc.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The next question goes to Mr. Muhammad Uzair from ICS.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My name is Muhammad Uzair. I represent Integrated Consulting Services, or ICS in short. We are a consulting engineering firm which is focused on infrastructure development, both architectural and engineering, particularly specializing in water sector. That means the flood control and related water supply, sewerage, and all related activities. So the question that I had is somewhat related to what my previous colleague, Mr. Harris, had asked, is how we can penetrate the consulting sector within the kingdom.
I think Ms. Naam had already provided the information that you have asked for. So basically what she has explained is that you need to have a local partner in order to start your engineering consultancy or architectural services in the kingdom. And for that, they can provide some assistance in terms of connecting you with the existing Saudi companies. So that part of the question is already answered. We can move next to Elite Engineering. Please go ahead. Yes, please.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. I would like to ask, we are an EPC contractor, like the construction contractors in actual, not the consultancy firm. And what things we are like the big bonds, the performance bonds, the guarantees from the banks, because these projects are in like $1 million, and no Pakistani company has this much of capital or maybe the finance to go for even for the bid. So we need a local partner who will actually help us in finance, sort of, to fulfill these requirements, not actually financing the project. That will be managed with the cash flow of the project. But initially, to go into the project, we can, with us, we have been registered in Saudi now. The process you have just showed, we have done that. The next part is the bidding process. How we go into that one? It's with the finance at the moment, like quality or HSE. These technical requirements we are qualifying on that one. But again, yeah, financing is the problem, the challenge for the bid.
Yes, thank you very much for your question. So if, maybe colleagues from MISA or the Saudi Contractors Authority can provide any suggestion. And again, this is one question that we continue to get from interested companies in Pakistan on how they can go about their financial requirements, because sometimes, there are some restrictions on moving equity from Pakistan. Because of the economic situation, and our companies do have some very strong skills and capabilities. So if you look at their project profile, they would have executed some very good projects, and they can bring those capacities to the kingdom. So they need some kind of hand-holding. And maybe in the shape of a JV where a local company can provide the financial assistance, and the Pakistani company can then undertake the construction-related activity. So if there are any solutions for that, that would be very helpful for all our audience.
Yeah, Your Excellency, that's a great point, and thank you for your question, the engineering company. Yeah, so the financing remains to be one of the key issues, especially for service providers, so like engineers and architects. Our focus and most of the incentives we provide are for investors that are injecting capital and they're building a factory, for example. So, for example, the Saudi Industrial Development Fund loans, those companies are the ones that can qualify and meet the requirements for these. So it remains to be one of the challenges. I know that it's one of the challenges that we want to launch initiatives for soon so that we can address it and find better ways to tap into that wealth of knowledge and experience that you mentioned, which we know is there, and we don't want the financing to stop this talent from coming and supporting the vision and the projects. But to my knowledge, it still continues to be a challenge, and it's something that we want to address in the next year or future few years.
Thank you very much. Mr. Fahim Siddiqui from FND.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mehmet Farooq Sahab. This has been a very informative and productive initiative that you've organized, and we have learned quite a few things. Most of the information, of course, was directed towards contractors and building equipment manufacturers. And Harisa mentioned architects, and I'm a consulting engineer. And I had the pleasure of meeting you earlier this year when I visited Riyadh. One of the questions that comes to my mind is on this matter of getting 25% Saudi partnership into any consulting or architectural practices that establish itself in Saudi. My question is, are there laws that govern this partnership specifically for this investment that's coming into Saudi at this point in time, or are they governed by the general laws of Saudi Arabia?
Mr. Fahim, the requirement that you said is to have a local partner, minimum 25%, is only mandatory for who are planning to practice in the kingdom as an EPC, engineering, procurement, and constructions. So if you are not considering to practice in the Saudi Arabia as an EPC business, you can have 100% ownership as a contractor only.
But what about consulting engineers and architectural companies? I understand they require.
Consultancy, yeah, this is a different thing. Consultancy, it's even true. It's mandatory to have a local partner, 25%. If you have a consultancy or engineering certificate. If not, there is the opposite. The minimum of the Saudi local partner is 75% and the foreigner is 25%.
Okay, and does this mean investment in equity also from the local partner?
Yeah, since it's related to percentage, yes.
All right, and can your organization also assist us in establishing contacts with such people that might be interested? Other consulting firms?
And doing a JV, you mean?
Yes.
We could help you in this part, like my colleague Nam said. We have 10 or 20 local investors that you are interested. Check them out. Then which one that you feel comfortable with to have a JV, we will manage or help you on this part, this matter.
Thank you so much for all the information you've given me.
You're welcome, anytime.
Thank you. So the next question goes to Mr. Aziz. Please go ahead. Mr. Aziz, can you hear me?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Please go ahead.
I'm Engineer Aziz from Aegis Consultants, Peshawar. We are working in infrastructure and water sector projects, and have been involved in Pakistan in major projects. We previously came to KSA, and the Honorable Ambassador encouraged us for opening an office in KSA. So we have, I'm now currently in Riyadh, and we have already applied for the visa approval. I'd ask this Mr. Anwar, that how long it generally takes for visa to give approval, because we applied on 16th of November, 16th of October. So almost 9 days it's passed. The second thing is I heard that article of association that is in Arabic. So can it be in two languages? Language of the two partners, one from Saudi Arabia and the other from the other country. So maybe in Urdu or English or something like that, so that the one who is making this article of association should understand that what he is making it. And my third question is from Mr. Nobel, that floods due to climate change now demands for flood resilient structures, dams, and even improved drainage systems, especially in the urban areas, is the previous hydrology for the Arabia was different, and now the hydrology data and information that things have changed due to climate change. So what are the government plans for any undertaking for starting water sector projects? Because we'll be mostly interested in those also. So thank you. These are my questions.
Mr. Aziz, can you share with me the application number to check it out, why it took that long?
Okay. So I have to check and then I'll.
Yeah, Mr. Aziz, you share your application number with us, and we will pass it on to Mr.
Okay.
The second question related to the article of association.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's true. It's in Arabic, but we raised it to Minister of Commerce, and they are considering to add 2 languages. But it takes like maybe 1.5 years to apply it. So rest assured, eventually it will be 2 languages.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And my third question was from Nobed for the water sector projects.
From Ms. Naam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you'd have to check investsaudi.sa. There's a water sector at the Ministry of Investment, and they're the ones that are responsible for publishing the water opportunities. I have more of the real estate opportunities. However, I'm not the best person to talk about the water opportunities. So check the website. If you don't see water opportunities, there should be an icon to contact the water team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there is any further question, please go ahead. Otherwise, we'll then close this webinar. It seems there are no more questions. So I would like to thank our collaborators from the Ministry of Investment and the Saudi Contractors Authority for sparing their time with us and providing us with very valuable information and also answering the questions from the audience. And also, I would like to thank all the participants, the construction companies, the engineering design companies from Pakistan who have joined us today. We've had a very useful conversation to understand the overall construction sector in the kingdom, both from the investment side, the registration of business, and the contracting side as well. And we will be continuing these activities in the future as well. We plan on actually organizing a physical event for our contractors in Riyadh in the coming weeks. And that, again, will give us more opportunity of direct meetings and networking with local stakeholders, as well as different contractors here. And we also plan on organizing, in cooperation with the Saudi Electricity Company, another webinar on what are the opportunities in the power generation and distribution sector in the kingdom, because that again is a major sector where a lot of future investments are going to take place. With that, I would like now to close this session. I do see there are 2 hands raised, but we've run out of time as well. So you can share your questions with us, Mr. Amir Mahmood, and there was another hand that was raised, and we will get the information and provide it to you. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your organization and for your time. We really appreciate it. And we remain at your disposal if you need anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you, everyone, for attending.